Today is Wednesday, September 27th, 2023. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 45, Episode 1.
Week 1. This episode's titled We Can Do Hard Things, spoken by Hannah, who proved the episode title completely incorrect.
I'm sure they...
I want to avoid that. I feel the pull. I'm not going to give in to it.
Don't do it.
We're going to recap.
We're just going to keep going.
Let's emphasize a positive. I like that smash it intro. I like seeing Austin jump up there and crush that clay pot.
We've seen that picture a lot, just in the previews.
Yep, I like that they had it in the intro. First up, talking to us is Drew. He tells us that he is the smartest, and that's just factually the truth. Well, thank you, Drew. Getting that straight for everybody.
Oh, I thought, ooh. Arrogant much?
Katurah was up next. She tells us that she had studied the game and that she was indeed going to be hiding the fact that she was a lawyer. She did not see that ending well for her, so she was going to avoid it. You think she'll be able to do it?
I don't know. Yeah, I think she's capable of doing it. I kind of liked her better than I thought I would, so I'm already kind of reevaluating her a little bit.
Interesting. Okay. And then we had Emily, and she is goal-driven, and excuse her for being honest.
Well, I think we pegged her right on in our recap.
Yeah, not completely correctly.
Very annoying.
Yes, extremely annoying. She
More
nailed
so
it.
than I even imagined. It's like
I'd say it's right on par for me.
Deliberate.
Yes.
It feels deliberate.
It's willful.
Yeah.
It is willful. Yeah. When someone says, excuse me for being honest, you can tell they're being willfully the way that they are. And she's going out of her way to present herself in that fashion.
Yeah, but why would you go on a game and deliberately be negative about every single thing and everyone?
Self-sabotage. Yeah. It's the role that she's there to play, evidently.
Wanting to get out early and have a vacation at Ponderosa. I don't know.
Pretty clever.
Then we have Jake.
And we've heard his story and all the preseason prep that we did.
Yep.
He's moving out of Grandma's house if he wins the $1 million.
Otherwise, he's staying forever, Grandma.
Yeah, almost guarantees that he's going to still be there by the time this is done.
And the last of the people that were highlighted is Sifu.
Self-described master instructor, also musician, into heavy metal. This is your Gabler replacement. Absolutely.
So, do you think they featured these 5 people because of some special reason? Are they staying around to the very end? Are they going out early?
I had picked several of them to be early boots.
Yeah, me too. That's why I thought.
Yeah. I'd be careful trying to read too much into it.
Okay.
Next up, we got some words from Sean. He tells us he's here to make up for some lost time. And Kellie tells us that she's a tough nurse. And Dee tells us she was made for this.
All right. Austin is the first person that got on the boat. And he is ready to go.
He can't believe it's happening. He's just all smiles. He was overflowing with smiles.
That's what I like to see. And Sabiyah says right off that she's one of the stronger people in her tribe.
No worries for her. Yeah. She's got something to offer right out of the gate.
Yeah, she was strong. I expected maybe even a little more, but I'll see it when we get there. I'm jumping ahead. Kendra.
I'm a Libra.
That's right.
For sure. Oh, goodness.
Immaculate vibes. I still haven't quite figured that one out yet.
Just perfect.
I agree with
perfectly
vibes.
Curated vibes.
I'm not sure what immaculate vibes for their
without fault.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take her word for it. All right, Probst is enjoying that there's so much energy that they brought on the boat with them.
Mm-hmm. And get some shirt tail twirling from Kendra. What?
I just read my notes. Probst speaks to Brandon and he burst into tears.
Yes, and it wasn't a pretty cry.
No, but I could, it made me think of Cochran and people like him that are very, just moved to tears because it's something that they wanted so badly for so long. And that's what he tells us. He's been dreaming of this for 11 years. So the minute Probst said anything to him, he's a puddle.
Triggers the ugly cry. Yes.
It was just cute.
And whatever that sound was that he made, I don't know how you described that. That escaped him initially.
Emotion.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what it was. And Jeff tells us, of course, everyone recognizes Bruce.
Bruce is back,
He's
baby.
back.
Is it an advantage? Emily looks skeptical, and it caught Probst's eye. Yeah, she's ready to push back on all that.
Yeah, and Bruce started to say how, they may think that he's, got an advantage, but, he hasn't had his shot yet either. And boy, Emily, right off the bat, right in front of everyone on the boat, girl, you did not make any friends. I mean, there may be a lot of people that agreed with her, so maybe
Excuse her for being honest.
Excuse me for being honest. She said, well, I'm going to push back right here with on Bruce a little bit. And he experienced more than us, and he's talking with authority and bossing us around already.
How dare he? Yes, the patriarchy.
Okay.
She's been suppressed.
Hoy. That's when I started to think, what are you doing?
Yeah, interesting
And
choice.
why?
Interesting choice.
Have you not watched Survivor?
You don't get a sense that she's aware of it. Not that she's truly comprehended the game.
Okay, Jeff tells us that the red tribe is called Reba, and the yellow tribe is Lulu, and the blue tribe is Belo. And whoever works together best will win this challenge, this first challenge.
Yeah, there was I forget where the interview was with Probst that I was reading Sunday or Monday when he was talking about it's really about the pairs this season and how well the pairs work together.
So they're going to do this a lot.
There's a big emphasis on pairing up, and of course they forced it with this first challenge to see who's going to get the pot, the machete, and the flint. And he tells us so we're going to have two players are going to have to retrieve a key, but before they can get to the key, they got to move a bunch of heavy stuff, bags and ropes that you would see on a big ship. And then another pair from a tribe's going to have to swim out to a boat and then row back. And then the last pair is going to have to retrieve a key where they use these long handles to spin a key off of a corkscrew. So it's all about pairs working together.
I thought it was a bag off the corkscrew.
Yeah, the flint was in there.
The flint was in it.
I said key. Yeah, it was the flint.
Okay.
Key's in the first bag.
Minor correction.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so for the first segment, the first stage, for the red tribe, we had Sifu and Austin. And let's see, for the yellow tribe, Kaleb and Sabiyah. And for the blue tribe, it was Bruce and Katurah. And Sifu and Austin, of course, I think I might have called that one if they... Mm-hmm. They came in first. Yellow tribe actually came in second, and the blue tribe came in third. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, maybe not. In that, if you had to pick who was stronger between Sabiyah and Katurah, who's going to be able to move heavy things quicker, I would have picked Sabiyah.
Well, that's true. I would certainly pick Kaleb and Sifu over Bruce as well. Mm-hmm. So, I guess that's not so surprising. And the red tribe was the first one done for the first leg. And then Julie and Maya took off.
Dived in to swim out to the boat. Yep.
And Kellie and Jake and Sean and Brandon. And Sean and Brandon did the best swimming out there and getting the boat and getting back. But then Brandon had the panic attack and couldn't get up the ladder out of the water onto the boat again.
Did he have a panic attack?
Well, that's what they said later on.
Was he physically struggling?
Well, that too, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, just to swim out there, that wasn't an easy swim.
And it's hard to climb up a ladder like that where it's loose and moving around. And and he clearly had a big adrenaline dump before they started.
Just he couldn't get up out of the water. He couldn't get a leg or something. He had a lot of trouble getting onto the first rung.
Upper body strength that he could not get himself out. Kaleb at one point, because Sean went ahead and went up, and then Kaleb said, "You got to go back down there and help him, man. He's not going to get out.
He's never coming out.
Yeah,
we're not going anywhere." So anyway, they were there first, and then they were the last to actually get back on the boat. So
Kellie and Jake got back up and started working, and Jemiah and Julie got back, and that was really
that was painful to watch. Actually,
it was. Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, somebody do something. So I'm glad Sean was able to get him up out of the water. But you think about, he's probably at least double Sean's size. And so Sean's got to have some upper body strength just to let him pull up, on his using his hand. And so good on Sean. He was able to help him. But I don't know how much of that was a lack of strength, a lack of energy, because he expended a lot swimming out and then rowing back, but also just a sheer lack of confidence. Even before the game started, he said in his interviews, well, I don't know what I could possibly contribute to my tribe. It's like he never expected to make it.
This could actually be a red flag in the casting process. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they could update their process to watch for this so that it doesn't happen again.
You don't think they thought, oh, yeah, this will make great TV.
This super fan is going to suck. Let's cast this super fan who's completely incompetent at the game.
No. Well, he didn't seem to. He said he took some swim lessons, and he did the swim part fine. Yeah. It's a good thing they gave him a head start.
Yeah.
But, he did that fine, and he did the rowing fine. It's just he was spent then. He had nothing left. And anyway.
It didn't end up showing the way we had seen in some of the earlier clips, right? Where Prope stops everything and calls for medical.
Yeah.
That didn't play out this way in the intro. It sounded like there was
a major thing going on, and the Probst was like, medical, kind of thing on the previews.
We didn't get that version.
But we didn't get that here. It was like, oh, well, just stay here, and we'll have medical take a look at you, just to make sure.
I guess they decided to go with a little different in the edit.
Yeah, or they didn't show us something. Who knows?
Drew and Dee did really good for the Reba tribe, for the Red tribe, and even Probst called out that Drew's height seemed to be helping them immensely.
Paid off.
So they ended up getting to the bag, getting the bag with the flint in it off first.
Well, I thought that Emily and Hannah got the bag off first. They just got the flint out first, the Red tribe. I'm going to have to look at that again, because I thought yellow came off first, the way I was looking at it. Cause
they did make up time once Brandon was able to crawl across the deck and tag them in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, yeah. I think they just couldn't get the bag open fast enough, and
we
passed them.
We see another one of the big differences that's going to happen this season is that they're going to do the Sweat and Savvy. Notice I didn't say versus. They're going to do the Sweat and Savvy challenge, and each of the tribes, the Belo tribe and the Lulu tribe, have to pick 2 people to go participate in that. And so it's, in the past, it had happened back at camp. So the whole tribe would go back to camp, and then they would choose between Sweat or Savvy, and then some group of people would do that. A pair or whatever, but this time it's going to be different.
Well, before we walk away from the last leg of the challenge, I just wanted to say I was surprised that Brando and Kendra, they started that leg of the challenge first. What do you think they were having so much trouble getting through it? They came in last.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think they got stuck. I do remember seeing that it was stuck at one point, that their ring got wedged in between the ring, the small ring that was tied to the bag that contained the flint, got wedged between two of the kind of corkscrew rings that they had to work it off from. So maybe that was the deciding factor there. And on the way out, after Probst tells us they're going to have medical check on Brandon, we get a quick confessional with Hannah, and she said Brandon had a panic attack as Brandon's burping, sitting there waiting for medical to come over and talk to him or check him out. Is there anything else you want to say about the first part?
Did you say who went for the challenge? The sweat versus savvy challenge?
No, I did not.
Okay. It was Brando and Jake for the blue tribe, and Sabiyah and Kaleb for the yellow tribe.
Yeah. Okay, we go to the Reba camp first. They just won their flint, their pot, and their machete here on day one.
Woohoo!
Maya tells us that victory tastes mighty, mighty good right now.
Yep, that was her bucket list item to win the first challenge, or she said everybody's bucket list to win the first challenge on Survivor.
She's liking her tribe's chances. She says they've got brawn, they got brain, and the morale is good, which would follow coming off a win in the first challenge.
Well, and then we watched Maya and Drew bond over childhood situations, and I didn't see that coming, that they would have something in common that they bonded over. At least to some degree.
The music and the poetry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Did we knew that he was into poetry?
And it was more them being shy and a bit awkward as children, when they were young in their childhood. So
Drew tells us he's got a moody side. That's the Drew name. And then his last name, Basil, that's the extrovert in him. And so that's how he's going to manage. That's how he's balanced himself so that he's going to be successful in the game.
Good story.
Yeah. Moving on. Belo, day one.
Bruce. Bruce. Dude, I am not a dad, and I'm not a leader.
Not your dad.
I'm going to be the drunk uncle.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, Bruce, I'm sorry. That sounded... I know it must have sounded good in his head when he was thinking it up, but it just didn't come off well at all.
Definitely got some comic relief as he went completely into dad mode, instructing people on what to do, calling out, oh, no, that's a waste of time, weaving palms. When has weaving palms been a waste of time? That was a new one to me.
Well, yeah.
I thought that was instrumental in helping you get
a lot of advantages to have that to lay on.
Or making mats. Yeah.
Keeping them, since they don't have anything else, if they can't get off the ground that night, then certainly will help keep them warmer. Anyway, and cleaner. But it's like, oh, geez, Kendra nailed it. He just cannot help himself.
Right, can't get out of his own way.
He says he doesn't want to be the leader, but he keeps telling us all, did you do this? Oh, no, do it this way. I did do it this way.
What did you think of the budding alliance here? Kendra, Kellie, and Katurah.
I actually really liked that.
29, 29, and 30.
Yeah. I like it. I was hoping we could see a strong ladies' tribe, so we'll see if they make it.
Kellie surprised herself. She was vibing so much with Kendra.
I think they're strong enough women individually that they could pull it off.
I'm really wondering, though, how long is it going to be before Kendra gets on their nerves?
Yeah.
That's my big suspicion when it comes to that.
She would get on people's nerves
right out of the gate, right?
Yeah. But even though Kellie acknowledged they're very different, they do have a vibe. They can vibe. So, hey, as long as they can vibe, because, Kendra's all about the vibe. So I think they got a chance.
Bouncing back to Lulu, the yellow tribe here, still on day one.
Do we have to?
And Emily is telling us that Kaleb and Sabiyah are so sus since they volunteered to go do the sweat and savvy challenge. There must be something to that. We can't trust them. They must be our targets. And she's talking to Hannah and Sean.
And then Brandon comes back from his medical check.
Admittedly disappointed in himself, he tells us, and embarrassed.
Yep, he was panicked.
And his cover story is, I'm not dead yet. Don't count me out.
Well, and like he said, everything here has given me so much anxiety. But he knew that. He talked about it before he ever went out there. Mm-hmm. And how bad, how neurotic and how bad everything was for him. I don't understand. I mean, I know it was a dream. He was a fan, but I don't know how you put yourself in that position if you've got that serious of an issue.
Right.
It just doesn't seem healthy.
I would agree. I don't understand it either.
And Sean is hoping they bring back all the material things from the challenge so that they can get something done.
And Brandon's resting again.
Yes, of course. And that's going to be a theme. Yeah. He has to rest, and then he is not doing well in challenges. So.
Okay, time to go check out what's happening with Sweat plus Savvy. What did you think about this twist?
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I was a little surprised and perplexed. I thought, wait a minute. I don't think I like that. If they have to work
you have trouble
that
with new things.
Hard,
yeah.
Oh, shut up. I think if they have to work that hard, they should get something. But then it is a challenge,
and it's
so
Survivor.
I understand that, but
yeah.
I wanted them both to. How can they get along without a machete, without a pot? They can't.
So they have to go head to head. So someone couldn't. If someone wins, the other pair automatically lose. But there's the potential that they both lose because there's an hourglass there, and they've got to get it done. The two elements done before the hourglass runs out. You missed that, right?
I did, and so I was really shocked when it happened.
I didn't know what you were saying. You asked me.
Like, what?
You're asking me, well, when are they going to tell them that they won?
Who won?
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody win. What happened? I blinked, and it was over.
40 big logs first for the Sweat component, and then for the Savvy,
just ridiculous.
They've got to navigate and maneuver this key.
Logs are heavy.
That's got a rope element to it, and they were not lightweight. You could see Jake struggling out of the gate with one of the big ones, and you quickly see Brandon resort to rolling it across the beach on his hands and knees. He's like, I'm not going to give up, but I cannot carry these things.
Well, I considered, both Kaleb and Sabiyah to be very strong, and Jake seems strong. And Brando's smaller, so I didn't expect him to be as strong, but though he did very well. But that just seemed brutal, and then nobody got anything.
I liked watching Sabiyah go through it. I think I'm going to like watching her narrate different elements of the season. She seems pretty good at it, and this was another good example. And she said, I'm not going to let this beat me. And, the way that she rose up to it.
So awesome.
Because it started really kicking her butt, and it was getting her down, and then she turned it around.
The self-soothe.
Yeah.
She talked herself through it. You can do it. And whoever's voice she was hearing in her head.
Her dad.
Her dad and maybe a drill sergeant or something from basic.
Yeah.
It's like, you can do it. Get in there and do it.
Kaleb told her that she was pumping him up too.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a win-win when you can encourage your fellow players, and that he was very impressed by that.
And Brando got a big reality check. He was telling us, I knew I wasn't going to bring the strength that Jake can, and Jake can actually carry the logs across while I'm rolling them. Yep. But I'm hoping I'll deliver on the puzzle. But that did not turn out to be the case. He got started on the puzzle and went, I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't know this either.
Yeah.
And I'm too exhausted to think. So, they just did a challenge out in the water, and then they have to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that's a lot.
Well, and their tribe mates understood tonight, probably for the first time, what they had endured.
Probably.
Yeah.
They could
to
tell
them.
The
extent of it, they're not going to understand.
Emily didn't believe a word they said.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I was impressed by their efforts. They all four gave it a great effort and did the best they could. And what else can you do? I think what that said to me was whoever did that challenge, they were the ones that messed up. If neither tribe was able to do it, then they messed up.
Oh, you're saying the people who designed the challenge?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you never know.
And I know they run it beforehand, but
You
they
can't,
didn't just do something else extremely physical before it either.
Probably not. Probably not.
You think of all those heavy ropes and stuff Sabiyah was lifting and doing all that?
Well, certainly her and Kaleb went through the most intense
Yes.
portion of it. And Jake didn't have to lift any of those things. Neither did Brando.
Yeah.
So,
Well, actually,
in the
I didn't
first stage of that
expect.
challenge.
I just didn't expect a whole lot physically out of Jake, but he did well.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give him that. So, but they failed, and how awful to have to go back and tell your tribe we failed.
Yeah, and Emily tells us she is angry. She's shook by how
Whines.
angry she
I
is.
wrote Emily whines about it. And she has no trust for them, blah, blah, blah.
Sean looks for an opportunity to talk to Sabiyah,
Liked that.
and he rats Emily out. She's really skeptical of you guys.
Yep.
She thinks you got something and you're hiding it.
Well, I don't, I always thought that there would be a possibility that Sabiyah, Kaleb, and Sean would bond together, against the other three. I just thought they would be the stronger. Now I know that's true. And but I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They only have 3 strong people. That's it.
Yeah.
And
It's going to take a toll on them really quick, too. They're going to get worn down.
It could harm their entire game. And even Kaleb and Sabiyah, I think that's part of the reason they were struggling in the challenge that's coming up, is that they were so exhausted.
So Kaleb and Sabiyah get back from just exerting themselves and failing and having to deal with all that.
And you don't recover from that right away.
Where's Brandon? He's telling us, I need to lay down. And Hannah says that she's stressed. And this is all really hard.
And she's...
And they have a meltdown together.
Well, at least they have something in common.
And this is also when we got the title from Hannah, where she says, we can do hard things, where she was trying to pump herself back up. And she drops the biggest information bit, I guess, to her state of mind, which we've seen wreck Survivor players before, in that she's having nicotine withdrawals. If you go out there and you haven't weaned yourself off of that, you're just asking for failure.
Yep, I agree. I think it was way more that she was missing the cigarettes than it was the food.
Well, and she's probably vaping to be, that's probably more likely. But yeah, she was still
I don't know.
heavy on the nicotine.
It doesn't matter. Why would you?
So she's telling us she's craving nicotine and
We've seen
she's
it
hungry.
In the past, we saw how hard it was for Shane.
Mm-hmm.
He about went nuts. But, it's physically hard on your body when you're coming off the nicotine, too. And so
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Trying to remember that guy's name. I think it was Zach in the Philippines.
I don't remember.
He did the same dumb thing, as I recall. Did not get off the nicotine before going out there.
Yep. Oh, well, her choice. So...
Back at Belo, Katurah, Kendra, and Kellie tell us it's written in the stars. They've got an alliance.
I like it. Kendra then boldly states that, oh, no, it's got to be Jake. He's a lawyer.
Yeah,
To lawyer Katurah.
yeah, that really rocked her, didn't it? That was funny.
Well, it would.
And it certified for her that she'd made the right choice, obviously.
And not telling.
Yeah.
But, that's what she thought about Jake. It's like, well, you should have known better. That even though he was lying about what type of attorney he was going to be, because he thought it would look better to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
A public defender instead of the assistant district attorney.
And for children.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, he was playing up what would look best, but she didn't agree with that. She's like, he should have known better than to tell it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Over to Lulu, the Yellow Tribe, day 2. And we see Sabiyah saying that, well, they don't have a machete, but they're doing the best they can with the structure. And Sabiyah's telling us that she's come up with some ideas for how to pull it together. And everyone's making an effort except Emily, who's there to point out
Very negative.
The deficiencies in every single thing that they're looking at. She's continuously the half-empty glass.
And the next thing is everyone's complaining about her.
Yeah.
Which that's an energy zap too.
Yes. Yeah, you don't want to get caught in a negative spiral like that. It can impact everyone, and it sabotages yourself. And
Yeah.
Sabiyah says, as far as she's concerned, they'd clearly be better without her at this point.
And then they talk about the pyramids, and Emily's like, I have been isolated with crazy people.
Yeah, just to further highlight the differences. Sabiyah's got some whack job conspiracy theory about the pyramids and batteries, and there were no mummies in there, and okay, great. That would be a little unnerving. I have to admit, I was on Emily's side there. Is that, yeah, really? Everyone thinks they were built by aliens, huh?
Yeah, but just to look at her face, if she were really playing the game, her eyes would not have looked at them like that while they were speaking about it. I mean, it's just written right on her face. She didn't have to say anything.
Mm-mm. And even though wasn't it Kaleb, tried to include her? What did you think about that, Emily? She's like, I've never given that any thought. It didn't work. I don't think they were. I think they saw right through that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, over at Reba.
Sifu is busy hunting for idols and advantages.
He's going to play like this is his second time playing.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be smart about it all. And then they show us everyone's watching him search.
Yeah, Austin busted him. He called it out. He said, hey, where's Sifu? That's the person that's always outing someone when, you know. That's the one you watch out for.
And then the three girls gather together again. Three girls. And how he's like Tony. He's just everywhere. And he's spying on us. That's what he's doing.
Dee's onto him, though. Her mama tells her she's a little fireball.
And if they were in the real world, she'd already gone off.
Bust his chops.
Yeah.
So, but
you know what? I bet that doesn't last.
Yeah.
That was day 1 or 2. So
day 2, this is, yeah.
By a little further along, a little less sleep, a little more hunger, a little more irritation.
She might cut loose on him, huh?
She might cut loose on him.
Well, as far as she's convinced at this point, he cannot be trusted. But Austin tells us, he's
looking too.
They caught Sifu, but he's made sure he was searching too.
Well, you know what he was doing? He was pointing everybody toward watching Sifu, so they weren't looking at him while he looked.
Yep.
Which was smart.
He'd been taking advantage of his time gathering firewood.
And
he finds a beware advantage. Beware advantages
one.
Are back. What did you think about this?
I think I liked what he did. He stopped. He thought about it. Do I want to do it? And he went, heck yeah, I want to do it. You know, why would I not do it? And
because it's a beware advantage.
Yeah, but he did it anyway.
Yep. So screw it. I'll do it.
That was his choice until he realized that it was a series of tasks that he had to complete, and he does not have a vote until he finds the idol.
He's the first one to officially lose his vote this season.
And his first task was to solve a hidden message on the tribe flag.
Yeah.
And there was a little sheet to match up.
Right, we saw in one of the promos someone was sliding that sheet along.
Yep.
Those
and there
markings.
Now that you mention that promo, there were 2 people there. He's not going to be solving it alone, is he?
Were there 2? I guess there was,
I thought there were 2 because I thought...
Maybe.
I remember now that you say that, I thought that was part of the challenge.
I don't know for sure there were 2.
To win the materials, but it wasn't. So
maybe J. Maya was superimposed on that.
Could have been.
Yeah, maybe that's what we're thinking about there.
Yeah.
Okay, day 3 immunity challenge. So they're gonna have to climb up a ramp, slide down the ramp into a
mud
pit, crawl through the mud under an obstacle. And then they're going to have to drag a big bag of coconuts and sandbags in there and over obstacles.
Fill it up in a bin before they can even start tossing it to the
They got to get the coconuts
basket.
out of the bag once they've dragged it through the obstacles, and then throw the coconuts into a bag, which drops a box in Yowman style on the corner. So it bursts open and releases releases some keys that are inside the box inside with the sawdust.
Yeah, man gave them the knowledge to make sure it burst.
For that. And then that seemed like a tribute to me. I don't know if they intended it that way or not. But anyway, and then they
get the key and they unlock stuff to get up to the...
Climb a ramp to get up to the top and then solve a big puzzle. And I I thought it was just going to be physical. So I saw that puzzle and thought, oh, well, that's the big equalizer. Now I have no clue who's going to win.
Yeah, because we thought for sure it'd be the yellow tribe, which, as it turns out, it was anyway, regardless.
Would lose, yeah. Because of the physical element there.
Yeah. If you don't get through the first part, you don't always make it to the second part. They made it, but just barely.
Get a chance to do the puzzle.
Both of the other two tribes were near the end of their puzzle before they even got there.
What'd you think of this season's immunity idol, the big pelican that splits into two parts, since it's a bird-themed
pretty
season?
Cool. Well, that's to be expected since the names were chosen that way for the birds, so...
So we learned that the tribes that didn't get their pot and machete will get those after this challenge, and the losing tribe doesn't get their flint. So.
Yep. Well, at least they got their machete. They probably felt like they were ahead anyway because they got a pot and a machete, even if they didn't get flint. Mm-hmm. So we didn't see anybody making fire, did we, on any of the tribes? Did we see Red make fire? They had flint.
Well, they were out collecting firewood, so pretty sure that was happening.
I just didn't remember seeing it or who made it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that it was featured, but we did miss a little bit where the connection dropped out, so we might have missed that in those few minutes.
Well, I was kind of, I think we both chose Emily to go, didn't we, first? I
did.
Yeah, and but I was beginning to think when he fell off that last ramp going up to the puzzle that...
You're just going to go right to that, huh? Okay.
Well, I was, yeah. Oh, did you want to run through the challenge?
Well, it was just the mud ended up. I wanted to say one thing about the mud. That actually played a significant role in the challenge. It completely dragged Sabiyah to a crawl.
Well, and again...
really slowed her down and put the yellow tribe way behind.
After she carried 40 logs the day before and lugged all those pulling those huge ropes, and I imagine she was pretty sore.
Didn't have a lot left, yeah.
I mean, you can be in good shape, but it doesn't mean you don't get sore doing something you're not used to, because you will.
Yeah.
Even the athletes.
The blue tribe, Belo, did really good. They got through that mud first, and then yellow just seemed to be falling further and further behind, and Reba, the red tribe, got through the first challenge second, and eventually yellow got through, but it took a while because it was really hard on the weaker people like Brandon to actually make it through the mud.
Yeah, I won't say any more about that.
The coconut tossing was a nice element in there. I like the different elements in the challenge. I mean, it's different things that we've seen before, but they were all well executed. And
gave them a chance to use different strengths, like at one point, red had been ahead and then blue got ahead, and so they kind of switched that back and forth a little bit. Yeah, and yellow didn't get ahead, but okay. Anyway, I enjoyed the challenge. I thought it was a good challenge.
And the climbing wall did prove to be really difficult for the yellow tribe, for Lulu. That last wall that they had to get up. I mean, Kaleb ran up it, no problem. First one up. He went up top to try to help others, but then realized he needed to go back down.
And he had to help get Brandon up if they were going to
lift him up. Yeah, and that was another struggle with Brandon.
And then he seemed so tired and weak. He certainly didn't just run right up the next time. He had to get up there.
Yeah, what did you think about them using their buffs? Did you see that?
I think that was smart.
Yeah.
Use whatever you got.
Probes was like, I wonder if those things are going to hold up. But they did. They are really strong.
Well, my thought was, hope you weren't planning on wearing that much. They're probably going to be so stretched out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah,
good on them for being creative, innovative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not sure whose idea it was, but it was a good one.
I was working to get him a little more length to help haul people up.
Yep. So for the puzzle, we had Brando and Kellie, Maya and Drew, and I think Brandon and Emily started doing it when they were.
Yeah.
But like I said, by the time Yellow got up there, then
Blue was almost done.
Yeah, Blue was almost done, and so was Red.
Yeah, they were close.
They were very close behind. So
few steps behind.
Yellow, I don't see, no matter how good they were at the puzzle, that they could have recovered. There was no recovery for that, I don't believe.
So Blue's going to get their pot and their machete, and they've got a flint now. And
Who?
Blue.
Oh, Blue.
Belo.
Okay.
Yep. And then Lulu gets their pot and machete, but still no flint. Brandon tells us that he was not contributing, and now he feels bad because he's going to have to vote for someone who actually contributed more than he did.
Yep.
Did better in the challenge.
Who performed better than me. I contributed nothing.
They get back to camp, and Kaleb says, you know what, let's go wash off before we start working out who we're going to vote out.
Dried mud, I'm sure.
And they gave us a great drone shot where you could see the mud clouds around everyone as they're sitting out in the water trying to wash out that mud. Yeah, the mud bloom that comes off everyone.
And then we see Hannah starting right off. I thought maybe they'll vote me out and I can go home. You don't go home, number one. But I get your drift. You go back to a bed and food.
Well, and what she said she wanted, which was
hungry and sleep in a bed.
And nicotine.
And nicotine.
Yeah.
Because I know good and well that was in there.
Brandon wasn't having that. She had helped him before, so he tells her, look, you've got to stay.
No, you can't.
He says, I need Hannah.
And then he starts telling us why he needed to go.
Yeah.
No, you stay. I need to go.
Right.
That's basically.
I've got reflux. I burp.
Yeah. I've been in
and
pain.
It hurts.
And I'm hurting. You stay and let me go home. I didn't say
Kudos.
that, but that's
you're
what
making
it
fun of him.
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
all right.
Having a bit of a dig on Brandon.
I'm being mean. Uh-oh. It came out.
It did come off a little weak, a little weepy on his part.
Whining. You know I hate whining.
Kaleb and Sabiyah
Even
handled
when I do
it. They were, it's not like you're immune to it.
I do give in every once in a while.
Kaleb and Sabiyah comfort him, but they seem really confused by having to do that. It's like, aren't you an adult? What's going on here? We see Brandon, Hannah, and Emily talking about, and of course it's Emily pitching it, that the need to break up.
Kaleb and Sabiyah need to
They
go
got to
home.
go. We got to vote out Kaleb. Sabiyah will come around if we get rid of Kaleb.
Idiot again. You're just going to disintegrate the entire tribe if you send either one of them home.
That's something that we were talking about during the commercials, right? It could be that we see the yellow tribe get completely destroyed, one after
They're
the
just
other.
Gone.
Yeah.
It turns into a two tribe. They don't got to do nothing.
Yeah, and then one person right before the merge from either red or blue is going to have to go. But it wouldn't surprise us if all of the Lulu members end up gone before the merge.
Well, I don't know. I'll be very surprised if Brandon and Emily don't go the next 2 weeks, and then Then maybe they can do something.
They would rally
with the other three, and they'll probably do some kind of swap up or something.
So Brandon's credit, he went to Kaleb and said, "Okay, don't react, but Emily's shopping your name. She wants you." So he was that. He's doing some strategy there
strategy that he doesn't have to stay. If Kaleb goes home, then he can't go home. I still think he's leaning toward I should go.
That doesn't track with him giving Kaleb a heads up that Emily's trying to get Kaleb voted out. But I understand what you're saying because there was elements.
Tracks.
Okay, it doesn't to me.
Well, you'd be wrong.
I thought this was at least some evidence of him acting strategically in his own best interest in the game. He's trying to build a connection with Kaleb by giving Kaleb a heads up. They're coming for you. At least Emily's coming for you. And of course, it just confuses the heck out of Kaleb. Do I get rid of Emily or do I get rid of Brandon?
And then what does he do? Kaleb turns around and said, well, I'm really tempted to get rid of Brandon and keep Emily. And Sean said, I'm on board.
Either way.
So did Brandon not get a little leg up with that? I'm not sure that wasn't his intent. I think he wanted to go.
Well, my tummy hurts speech to Kaleb and Sabiyah was about that. Yeah, you're doing it again.
Oh,
Quit
sorry.
picking on Brandon. That's my job.
I can't help it. And I don't usually
No,
wanna
that's not
do
your
that,
thing. But yeah.
I can't help it.
There's some people on this Lulu tribe that are really
I'm
freaking
a bad
annoying.
Girl.
Okay, Tribal Council, night 3. Probst just wants to talk. Let's just sit and talk for a minute before we get into the tough, deep stuff.
Nobody
Where
believes
are
that,
you? Where are you on your journey here?
You just sneaky way to get in there and get information out of them.
Sean says, I have turned into a jungle rat. That was good. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a jungle rat now. I'm sleeping on the ground. I'm scurrying around.
Emily is a more streamed version of herself.
More extreme, weird version of herself.
Yeah. She didn't say that part, but okay.
Yeah, she did. She said extreme and weird.
She said weird? I didn't hear her say it weird.
Well, I wrote that in my notes.
Okay.
That could have been me projecting.
Could have been you. Okay. We're so mean tonight. I don't know. Okay. Hannah said she's just emotionally wrecked. But that she's not like that normally. I thought, I'm sorry, I'm not convinced
Don't
of that.
believe you. Not a bit. No, I think this is your thing. This is part of your
Your
shtick.
career that you spent all that time getting, you practiced for 5 or 6 years and then you were done.
Bailed on.
And
Take
now
this easier
you just
path.
provide a space for other people to cancel.
Yeah.
So I thought,
We're going to be very
I'm
critical
sorry.
of you here,
I
Hannah.
am being
Sorry.
very critical and judgmental. What happened to me?
And Sabiyah
Survivor
says-
has destroyed me.
Sabiyah says this. You can blame it on me. I'm a bad influence. Sabiyah says, well, we could vote her out, but there's politics that we're dealing with here, too. And then Sabiyah says, I doubt she'll quit. Foreshadowing.
No, she was trying to tell her not to quit.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think she'll quit.
Emily decided that was her time to attack Sabiyah and Kaleb and call them out for being in an alliance and being able to be the
Taking their strength role in the tribe.
primary physical contributors in the tribe and trying to weaponize it. Goodness,
we
Emily.
didn't ask
Right.
for it.
I like that she told her, every time you do that, you're isolating yourself.
Yeah, and Brandon's like, well, I'm not strong, but I'm good at comforting people. Oh, I'm doing it again. Okay, let's see. Speak normally.
Well, we're at that part, though. This is where it just completely went south.
Yeah.
And where Hannah basically quits.
Hannah was, well, I would love to watch what happens on this tribe.
From the
but
comfort
from
of
the
my home.
comfort of my home. Honest, I don't need to be voted out to go home.
My heart is
Sabiyah.
not in this.
So she implied that I will quit
Yes.
if you do not send me home.
Yeah. I don't know why Sean was crying. I didn't get that as a response at all. The perplexed look that Sabiyah
Because
gave.
he had to live with Emily longer?
Yeah. Maybe that was it. The
And
thought of
Brandon.
spending more time with Emily and
He's
Brandon
like,
was making him
I can't
cry.
lift Brandon over another thing.
You're right.
And yet it's Hannah that's leaving. so.
Freaking quitter. Okay, casting, you really screwed up
Yeah.
with this set.
Stacy did nasty things when she quit.
Yeah, celebrated her #1 status
Though
as a quitter.
technically she was voted out because they did say the words. Jeff
Probst almost
walked
forced them to do that.
through it.
Yes.
So, well, otherwise, if Probst hadn't drug them through the vote, and so she was technically voted off. So those 31
A verbal
people
vote.
got 2 points. But had she just flat quit, then
Yeah. Well,
that would have altered everything because you don't get points.
she
for a
jumps
quit.
to the #1 place for first out and the worst first out person to ever play the game, in my opinion. What an incredible waste of effort and space.
There is a recent bias, but
Yeah. Sure.
but definitely that's how it feels right this
And she
minute.
straight up quit. That Probst
totally.
finagled that around into a verbal vote.
Yeah.
But that was her quitting. and never should have been out there. And so that casting process for her failed, I'm sure, on multiple levels. And I can't help but think the same thing about Brandon at this point too. Maybe he'll rally. I don't know.
Well, I would like to see him be able to do that and gain some confidence in his ability. That would be awesome if he could do that.
I do not feel invested in the future of his success.
I'm not sure he's capable of that. And he does have panic attacks, are real physical
manifestations of the anxiety.
Yes, and they can be very serious, and so
got no business being out there. That's the end conclusion for me.
Well, that's why we thought
and the physical
that
weakness,
wasn't the best casting. We want to see people who can play.
We want that first person voted out to be, oh man, I can't believe it. I wanted so much more for them, right? I
wanted to see them play. Now
I can't say I felt that way with Bruce going out last time. I was neither here nor there. We didn't get anything from him.
We didn't even know Bruce, so But now, okay, let's go to next on Survivor. Then I can talk about Bruce.
Hold on, before we do next time on Survivor. Okay. Prior to that, when it went really sour, and we both were like, "Geez, that was a bummer of a premiere because of that." It just you ruined our premiere, you goobers.
Yeah,
that was kind of like our consensus at the time, right?
We're getting over it a little bit now.
I don't know. I think you got worse in the course of the recap.
Well, after listening to all the things you said and the gestures you made at her, that was...
Yeah. Fair enough.
But anyway,
short of that, what did you think of the
dampen it for me?
Premiere? Yeah, it's.
Anyway, sorry if we're bringing you down further.
Yeah, this is not a good start for the season. Yeah, you can't get around it when you got someone who quits like that.
The good thing is maybe it's all up from here, though. Maybe that was the worst.
I don't know. I think Brandon still got more disappointment in store for us.
And he may quit, too. So. Yeah. But whatever.
Without Hannah there to talk him down. Emily might look at him mean, and then, he's done.
Well, Emily will look at him and everyone else mean, probably.
So is she good casting or bad casting? Can you tell this soon?
I think they thought, she's just going to annoy the heck out of her tribe. We got to have some people go off early on. So, hey, she's perfect for that role.
So when she got her psyche eval and they were like,
I don't think they ever thought she'd last long.
You're very much like Chaos Cass,
yeah.
Well, it's proven to be more true than I expected at this point.
Well, but did that influence her?
Oh, yeah. I think it fed into something. She's working it.
It feels like she's trying really hard to play this role.
Where's the end game there? If you assume... maybe she's there to win. This is a very poor approach.
I don't assume she's there to win. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think there's people that play that want to get on TV. They have some agenda, whatever it may be, or just to do this. And then they know, hey, I get to go somewhere for this many weeks and just... Hey, they give me booze and food, and I can hang out by the ocean and go on trips, and
certainly that seems to fit Hannah's MO at this point. Yeah,
it's like, well, how bad is that? You get voted out, and then I don't have to starve. So I do think there's people that are okay with that.
Sure.
Hey, I had my moment on TV. Now I want to go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that that's what she's doing because I don't know her. But I'm just saying, I do think that there are probably some people that do that. They're not.
What about who else on the cast stood out for you?
In what ways?
Anyway,
stood out in a good way or bad?
Yeah, any. We're just talking about overall in the context of the premiere.
The Belo Girls Alliance.
That was interesting. Yeah, I did like that.
I'd like to see that. And I don't know about any other girl alliances.
The Belo guys seem like they're kind of in doofus mode right now. They're not. None of them are coming off very well. Okay,
Well,
so the ladies
I
may
like
be able to
Brando
run the
okay,
board
that
there.
He hasn't performed the way he thought he would. You know,
Right.
he's kind of feeling. And actually, I expected nothing really from Jake, and so he's doing better than I
Although
thought he would do.
they did crunch that puzzle really hard, so they did good on the puzzle at the end in the immunity
Yeah.
challenge. So maybe some redemption there. I didn't watch how close it was between him and Kellie contributing
Well,
there.
since you didn't let me do the next on Survivor yet, Bruce on the next on Survivor.
Hold that thought. We're talking about the premiere.
This is part of the premiere. He was doing it on the premiere.
Okay.
So I can say that Bruce was being a goofball and a doofus,
And
in my opinion. And he was being not too
we had a little bit of bossy dad vibe going. That's what we got.
and now, we're going to get all this goofy stuff.
You just can't help yourself. I see
Well,
where we are. So I'll say with the Red Tribe, Austin came off really well. Drew, not as annoying yet. I expect his annoying level to jump up. Julie didn't completely freak him out, although Sifu was acting really sketchy, and that might be working against him.
Yeah, I think
Some of it
is gonna
worked,
work.
though. Some of the hiding, the spying he did seemed to be working fine, and then he was more overt about it and got
Yeah.
busted by D. And Julie, I guess she was accepted okay. There wasn't any standout moments for her,
I
really.
don't think you're going to know that until the first vote.
Yeah, see with them.
Yeah.
But they did seem to all work well together in the challenges.
Yes.
So,
Yes, they were successful in challenges.
and I expect Lulu, the Yellow Tribe, to continue to blunder in challenges.
Yep.
And we'll just see how long Kaleb and Sabiyah can maintain any kind of a positive outlook under those circumstances. Okay, next time on Survivor. Go
Finally.
for it. Tell us what a goofball Bruce is.
Well, I'm not there yet. We got to keep
now
it
you're
going to
go in order.
Yes, Sabiyah was saying Emily would cut my throat in the night.
She does not.
So she knows.
think of her
Emily
positive
doesn't
way.
like her. She's really out to get Sabiyah. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she really seems the target on those two. It's not just Sabiyah. It's also Kaleb.
Yeah, Emily's not playing the mastermind. She's not playing the supreme strategist.
No.
She's asking to get hammered down.
Sure. That's why I said I don't think she had any intention of staying too long. Yeah.
Drew is stoked, dude. I'm telling you, he is in a solid group. He's so excited. His head is exploding. And he seems to be vibing with Julie and Dee in the next time on Survivor. So, okay. Maybe
Okay.
Drew will
Well,
find a way
maybe
to
it will
assimilate.
work out. He did well in the challenge, so hey, good on
Katurah
you.
tells us that,
Bruce does a lot of stupid stuff.
and cue
Who
the actual
is this
stupid
guy?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. He was on a boat. It looked like he was going out to somewhere else. and-
Either drew the short stick or
And doing
volunteered
goofy
for an
stuff.
advantage in the next episode. Yeah. And he was doing the robot as he was standing in the boat getting pushed off there.
Well, that's nothing wrong with doing the robot, but I don't know. He's not drawing positive attention to himself.
Drunk uncle energy,
he
though?
took that too serious, and it just is not going to pay off for him, I don't think.
Okay.
So I'm already, he can go home too. So,
Enough of you, Bruce.
Of the
Joanne's
drunk
done.
uncle.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about next time on Survivor? You have a pick? Who do you think's going next? Is it going to be Emily or Brandon?
Brandon.
Okay, Brandon. That seems like he's going to fold without that tiny bit of support he got from Hannah.
Yeah. I hope that's not the case. I mean, but neither he or Emily are very easy to tolerate.
The thing, though, is Emily's going to think that she can swing Brandon and Sean and take control of the tribe against Kaleb and Sabiyah. She didn't know that Brandon's allied to some degree with Kaleb because Brandon gave Kaleb that heads up.
Nor I don't believe he wants to stay very long.
But Emily could go over to Brandon and tell him he's worthless and weak and he should quit and join Hannah, and he would be much happier, and he might do it.
Yeah, because Hannah probably needs your support.
Right. She could use your comfort about now.
That's right. You should
Emily
go to
could get in his head
Ponderosa
that way too. Huh?
for Hannah.
Yeah. All right.
I thought of that too.
Yeah.
Hannah says she fears the world is going to hate her.
I don't know about hate, but geez, you're a disappointment.
And she said it is so much harder than she ever imagined. And she has so much respect for all the Survivor players, and that she just had nothing left in the tank. Well, thank goodness she didn't have to do what Sabiyah did and haul those logs and do.
Oh, she would have quit right then, right?
Yeah.
She wouldn't
I'm
have finished
pretty
that
sure.
at all. She would just be
No.
like, take me. I'm
She'd have
done.
never done those 40.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Not a challenged life there is how that comes across.
Yeah, so.
Folded like a piece of paper.
Okay, so are you in agreement that it's Brandon next week? You think Yellow's going to lose again? And
Definitely Yellow loses again. That's where I'm leaning. And
you don't think
well,
Emily
Brandon-
can talk
if
them into
Brandon-
voting out
If
Caleb?
Brandon can rally just a tiny bit, if maybe Sabiyah and Kaleb will say something positive, reinforce it. Maybe Principal Sean can give him a gold star for something he does around camp, and that'll be
He
enough.
doesn't do anything around camp.
Yeah, he lays down a lot. He's really good
Well,
at
that's
taking
what
naps.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
At least we've not seen him do anything around camp.
They're better off
Or
having
anywhere
Emily,
else.
even though she's a caustic element.
Yes.
So
Well,
Brandon
that's why I
should
said
go,
Brandon.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Brandon out next. Okay, how about a JSFL update? What's
All
going on
right.
with our fantasy league?
31 people are tied in first place because they chose Hannah to go home.
Which you get those points technically.
Yes, you too. But you
She
got
quit.
'em.
Yeah.
So, all right, 16 USBs were lost right
Oh
out
my
the
goodness.
gate.
My goodness.
And 36 people lost a safe point. There are 9 people in the side challenge this season. Randy and Rebecca are tied for first with 6 points.
Oh, good job, guys.
And with 4 points, we have Drew, Jeremiah, Justin, Lisa Ray, Parker, Robert, and Stacy.
2 buckets. Yeah, that's how it starts. We'll see where it goes from here. I'm anxious for Drew to get in there and hold down the basement. So how did the USB choices for the Ultimate Survivor bonus
All
in
right.
terms of people picking who they think is going to win this season, how did that pan out
Well,
across the
44
castaways?
people chose Kellie
Yes.
to be their USB
Nurse
or
Kellie.
the winner for this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I debated all day. I really
Back and forth.
back and forth.
She
back
was
and forth.
seesawing it.
But I figured a lot of people would choose
okay.
her.
You're going to play
and
the
I
numbers.
thought, well, I still kind of want to support Sabiyah, and probably less people with. Well, number 2 was 40 people chose Sabiyah.
Yeah. There's a good video that came out that EW released yesterday, which...
And
what was the
you
title
saw
of
the
it?
Sabiyah I was talking about.
Yeah, I could see it for a minute. She was talking about being the middle child and then how that was gonna frame how she played the game. But just seeing her talk about the way she was gonna approach the game from that perspective and how she had lived her life growing up, I thought, oh, okay, there's actually some potential there.
Okay, so the person, 26 people chose Kaleb.
Yeah, no surprise there.
20.
I thought he was going to be more popular, actually.
Okay. 22 people chose Austin.
Yeah, I get that.
Only 21 people chose D. I thought she would be a little higher.
And
'cause-
that's who you chose?
No, I didn't. I just told you I chose Sabiyah.
Oh, you went with Sabiyah, yeah. Sorry.
And you went with Kellie.
Where you were looking at D and Sabiyah.
I was,
Kellie.
and then a lot of other people were talking about, and then I thought,
in the
her
Jabbok
temper,
part 2, yeah.
I thought her temper might get the best of
Waylayer
her with
late in the
yeah,
game.
Yeah, it was something she said in one of her interviews or
Okay.
something. Anyway, 16 people chose Bruce. 16 people chose Hannah, of course. 15 chose Katurah. 13 chose Brando. 11 chose Brandon. I'm sorry. 10 people chose Jake. 9 people chose Sean. 8 for Jeremiah. 7 for Sifu. 6 for Emily. 6 for Kendra. And 4 for Julie.
Okay. I expected
So,
Julie to be holding down the bottom there.
Yeah. But, Yeah.
I'm not surprised with Emily and Kendra down there either.
No. So that means Julie for the win. Because we're usually wrong.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we covered everything, and we should take our negative selves out of here.
Well, we got one.
Actually, I'm glad to have Survivor back.
Yes.
Oh, you're going to read something else?
Well, I was just going to say I'm anxious to hear what the other fans thought about the premiere and how they reacted.
Yeah.
I expect there could be a bit of a barrage.
And we apologize. We'll try to be more positive from now on.
Hannah, you quitter. So we're curious to see what you thought about Hannah the quitter and all the
everyone knows how you feel about quitters
and tribulations of that Lulu tribe. And who else you saw? Who impressed you? Do you think this yellow tribe is going to be able to pull it out at all? And
I hope so. My USB's on there.
Are we going to see the Lulu tribe just completely decimated before the merge? Do you think anyone from the Lulu tribe will make the merge? Maybe that's a question for the listener feedback show on Saturday. The voicemail number is 206-350-1547, toll free 844-643-8737. The email is joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. You can record your own audio and send it in. You can call the voicemail and just leave your thoughts there. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll edit it for you and clean it up if you say something or you want to backtrack, or even if you just take long pauses. I got macros that automatically take that out, so don't worry about it. Just call in. But if you're writing it up or recording in either of those methods, we ask that you try to keep it in that 3-minute range so that we can get everybody in there for the listener feedback show. And the sooner you get it in, the sooner Joanne and I can pull it all together so that we don't get completely waylaid on Saturday morning, because we'll put the listener feedback show together on Saturday. The deadline is Saturday noon Pacific time. Anything else we need to say?
Nope. I think we've said enough.
Hannah, you quitter. All right. Have a good one. Even you, Hannah.